Let's start to work with SkyBox 360 VR tools to have our titles and graphics ready for our 360 VR video. I'm here in my chapter 3.7 sequence, and this is going to be available to you in the Intro to 360 Mettle chapter 2_5 on project. And if you've been following along, you can just follow along in your own sequence. What I'm going to do is I would like to create a title to place over my first shot inside the sequence. So let me go to the title menu and choose new title, default still. The title's properties are going to be based on the sequence that's currently selected. And you can see there the width and the height, as well as the time base. I'm going to call name this title My Travels, or the travels that I wish I've been on, and I'll press OK. Now, inside the title tool, you want to just make sure that the type tool is selected. I'm just going to click here because that's where I want to enter my title. One great thing about this is that you can do a search for a particular font family. I'm going to type in the words Myriad, and then Myriad Pro is going to come up. I'll make sure I select the condensed font. I want to increase its size right away. Something big, 400. It's great. I'm going to click down here. I'm going to type in the words My Travel Around the World. Excellent. I'll then select the default selection tool and maybe just change where that title shows up. If I needed to make a small change in size, maybe 350, that's looking a lot better. So there's a simple title. It's right there inside my project. And you could also think about this as a logo that you bring in, because those are also 2D assets. And let me just close down here the title tool. And what you're going to notice if I go inside my project panel, my title is created right here. If you want to, just place it inside a bin so you can keep everything organized. Now, once I have this title, I'm just going to come up here and actually go and bring it into my V2 track. And I'll just extend it using the regular trim tool to be the length of my shot. So everything looks fine and dandy when we're not in VR mode, but this is going to start to break down the minute I go into VR mode. In fact, if I start to go around my scene, my title is not looking so good. What I need to do is get around that. Let me go out of my VR mode and here to my effects. I'm just going to do a search here in the effects tab, which we can do, of course, to select the Mettle Project 2D. When I apply this effect onto this title, I basically said, hey, I want you to participate in this 360 VR workspace that we're in. And it's going to take this 2D asset, and you can apply this to a graphic or logo as well. And the best part about this is that when I go into my video VR display, my title is not looking like it has been transformed or warped. It is nice and straight. Let me just exit out of VR video display, and you should see some of the effect parameters that are associated with this. So with the title selected, we can press Shift 5 to go to our effect controls. And you can see here that number one, I have the option, of course, of scaling up this title. I like that, just scaling it up just a little bit more. We also have the option of rotating the source as well as the projection. So if I rotate the source, come here, and if you start to play around, you can rotate where that title is going to show up in your 360 VR environment. And this could come into a lot of handiness depending on where you want that title to appear across your footage. So you can play around with the rotate source, as well as you can play around with how it's being projected in your 360 world. So just notice some of the differences here as I play with the projection tilt versus the source tilt of the text. So I'm just pressing Control Z to undo these parameters, but these controls are available for you. I'm just going to play with the projection tilt by itself right now. If I go into the VR mode, sort of look here at the scene, just notice how that title is indeed showing up here in your 360 VR scene. To the rescue, I'm just going to undo the projection tilt. Comes our lovely SkyBox Project 2D effect that's going to allow us to integrate both text and graphics into our 360 VR projects.